I was a student of history when I was in secondary school, and I grew to love it a lot. It was a subject that brought a lot of knowledge forward that to me felt very relevant to my entire identity that I formed for myself, or the identity that I would like to form for myself. And so having that was a great thing. Coming out of school now, I guess dropping out of history was inevitable. I don't read as much as I used to from the history books, and don't learn as much because there's no teacher teaching you. But that still being said, there's an interest there. I was browsing through just some old book in the library, and I came across this photo. It was a photo, an old time photo of Trinidad. I think it was a photo of Port of Spain itself, actually, from the sea looking in. And it struck me that as much as it looked different from how the coastline of Port of Spain looks now, there's a lot of similarities to it as well. And that's what that connection kind of drew me into it, Now, obviously it's a photo, so it's not going to be something from the 1400s, something, It's going to be late 1800s, early 1900s, and going on, But still, I was drawn to it, even though it was just that little bit back. But it was far back enough that it was history, but close enough that it was relevant to my existence now, because that's just 100 years ago. A relatively short space of time in the history of the Caribbean, the history of Trinidad and Tobago, and very short space of time in history of the world. So I was interested in that, and that kind of sparked out, I decided to look for more photos on the internet, in books. I found them, and I said I could make a series out of this. And it's not about expressing my creativity, because it's just basically me copying prints. Copying photographs and making them into lino block prints, which, if you think about creativity, it's not really that much, because it's just reproducing, But I think that's not the whole point of it. If the point was to work on creativity, I think I would have stopped after one print, because it would have been meaningless. The point is for me, on a personal level, as well as I hope people who view the prints, to form some connection to it. To see the past as being something instrumental to our present reality, as well as to our future reality. And even though some of the photos are just silly, they're like just portraits, or there's just a scene that does, without any context. A lot of the photos I've looked at don't have any context. It leaves your mind able to suppose, to take a guess, as to why is this like this, and what this person was doing back then, and did he think like how I think, or what was his goals? Did he have a family? Is at the end of the day, the person in the photo, or the scene in the photo, the place in the photo, it's basically me, just 100 years ago. It's the same idea, the same people, the same Trinidadian culture, just 100 years previously. And so these people could have just well been my brother, my sister, my mother, my father, even myself. I think that bears a lot of weight behind it, and it's, as a thought experiment at least, something worth pursuing.